The Disneyfication of Star Wars has made many fans angry. But what the hell does Disneyfication even mean? Many people are furious that Disney, a kid's dream factory, or whatever, that sounds creepy. But anyway, Disney is slowly taking over the world. That's why people are angry, buying up whatever they can, including the beloved Star Wars. But was Star Wars perfect before then? Fuck no. Was Star Wars an adult-only, super complex, mind-altering sci-fi before Disney took it over? Fuck no. So let's have a look at this. If you think these movies were once for adults and now because of Disney they are just for kids, I implore you to go back and watch The Phantom Menace. In fact, skip the good part, or arguably parts, and then watch it. In fact, skip all of it except any scene with Jar Jar or when a battle droid has dialogue. In fact, just watch the scene when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon meet the Gungans, and then tell me this is top quality adult entertainment. Also, has everyone forgotten about Ewoks? Sure, the prequels were far more complex in terms of world building, universe building. Personally, I think this kind of over-explanation of the Star Wars universe was a detriment. Like, does anyone really care about, the Trader Federation? What the fuck? But despite the billion political subplots going on in the prequels, the dialogue and the characters were cringy as fudge. These movies felt like unnecessarily complex children's cartoons, and you know what? That's fine, I guess, whatever. They're still not as complex as like any episode of Babylon 5, but whatever. So I believe Star Wars is no more for children now than it has ever been. Sure, there were some pretty dark moments in Empire, and Rogue One definitely felt like it targeted an older audience, but Star Wars has always been an approachable franchise for all ages. It's space wizards, man! It's not a complex sci-fi, it's an action movie in space. It is epic, but it's not as complex as some of the other franchises, and that's great. It's in a way, it's a family sci-fi. I mean, it was this long before Disney came along. So don't kid yourselves, it's not this big fucking super intellectual thing. It's a fucking action movie in space. That being said, there is a strong case for what people are calling the Disney effect. That is trying to make a movie that appeals to every type of person or fan instead of making a niche kick-ass film. This I can kind of agree with. Say what you want about the prequels, at least it was a singular vision. It didn't work in my opinion, but it takes balls to do that. To try something, just try something fresh. Hit or miss, at least it's fresh. Disney, as do many big production companies these days, they try to tick all the boxes to appeal for everyone, and it doesn't always work. As we have seen with The Last Jedi, it's very polarizing. But with this film alone, is that not a good thing? I reckon it is, because at least it tried to do something different, or did it? Half the people say it did, the other half say it's the same old crap. So you can never please everyone. It's either too different and has ruined Star Wars, or it's not different enough, and so it has ruined Star Wars. You can't please everyone. So what should you do? Maybe make something in your singular vision, at least give something new a shot. So to be fair, with Disney's Star Wars for everyone approach, we might not get anything too revolutionary. That being said, let's not forget that Disney owned Miramax, the production company responsible for Tarantino films. When you think of Disney, you don't generally think of gangsters brutally murdering people or hillbillies raping people in a pawn shop. Yet Disney owned properties provided us with this. But also when you think Star Wars, you don't think bank robbers torturing policemen and cutting off their ears, so I don't really see what the problem is. Disney has made dark stuff, and Star Wars isn't even meant to be all that dark in the first place. So I'm not really that worried. Star Wars is for kids, and it's for adults. It's for everyone, it always has been. Deal with it. A lot of people are saying that Disney is just doing this to sell toys. In a sci-fi set in the future, or in this case, another galaxy, or a long time ago, or whatever, it's really hard to have product placement. This is good. Advertising in films kind of sucks. You know, let's put monetary things aside, but think about it. In a sci-fi, one of the only external ways to make money is with merchandising. If you think this is the first time that Star Wars is trying to sell lightsabers to kids, well, let's not forget about all the other films, all this old junk. Hell, I had so much Star Wars toys as a kid, even before the prequels came out. It was maddening.
Rebel cause with her defender Luke Skywalker. You can swing him into action on his grappling hook. And load Chewbacca's laser crossbow. Star Wars large-size action figures. Up to 15 inches tall and ready for action. Large-size drive.
In fact, I still buy Star Wars toys now. I mean, who doesn't want to play Star Wars Clue? This game sucks and was a totally impulse buy, by the way. I don't think Star Wars is trying to sell to me any more than it ever has, Disney or not. I I mean, what do you think? You're always going to get toys. And to be fair, the Disney toy advertising campaign was epic, but this is nothing new, and I honestly believe that no matter what company owns the rights to Star Wars, you're always going to get a massive marketing campaign trying to sell you shit. It's just, this is the time we live in now. I'm not a fan of Disney. I'm not defending them. I'm just saying it wouldn't matter. Everyone is trying to sell you something all the time. Get over it. So why do Star Wars fans hate Star Wars so much? Well, it's because they're not fans. Let me explain. If you like only 2, maybe 3 out of the 9 films, okay, maybe 4 out of the 9 films, let's say 3, that have been released so far, then can you really call yourself a fan of the franchise? That's only 33.3%, man! Not a very high score. Of course, I'm talking canon films, not holiday specials, and this, for lack of a better word, atrocity. Also, you can say you love the Clone Wars and whatever, and that will nudge your percentage up a little higher. But speaking strictly canon films, ask yourself how many of them you liked, even loved, then ask yourself if you can call yourself a fan of the franchise. In its current form anyway, not what it used to be. I do understand that in 2014, when Lucasfilm killed off almost the entire extended universe, that this would have pissed off a great deal of true fans. So maybe if you hate all this new stuff, you should call yourself an X-fan. Personally, I really enjoyed The Last Jedi. I think it is the best film since the original trilogy. If you want to know why, then I suggest you check out my review that I will link at the end of this video. In my opinion, Disney did not ruin Star Wars. The prequels kinda did. I mean, fuck midichlorians. But I'm over all the prequel hate. It's been enough time. Star Wars has never been this super complicated, perfect film franchise. It's just action in space. It's epic for sure, but it's not a flawless, complex, sophisticated sci-fi. I am a massive fan of this franchise, but let's not kid ourselves. It's not hard-hitting, sophisticated sci-fi. It's space wizards, man, and that's flippin' awesome. So cut it some slack, for fuck's sake. Seriously, if you think Disney has ruined Star Wars, then ask yourselves, are the 2 new films worse or better than the prequels? If you honestly think they are worse than the prequels, then I just have one thing to say to you. Thanks for watching, gang. Don't be haters, be critics, but also be optimists and realists. But most of all, be happy. These are just movies, none of it really matters. Let people like what they want and dislike what they don't. Everything is subjective, so just be happy and sexy, baby.